So welcome back everyone, Mike here, and I got the Huntman with me. Say hi, Hunter. That's about all you're gonna get. But anyway, this morning we worked on the floor heat system in the new building. Melissa's Uncle Jay came over. We got a ton of stuff done. I want to go over some stuff when I get back to the house on that Crete heat system. It's phenomenal, it really is. And if you install this stuff for a living, you're probably not going to get anything out of this video. But this video is for the homeowner out there that wants to do some of the work themselves. The floor heat system can be expensive because a lot of it is very labor intensive. It's not real difficult, it just takes a lot of time. But I learned a lot so far through the process, and I have some more to go. But hopefully by the end of today's video, someone out there that is thinking about doing this type of work themselves will have a better understanding of it. That's kind of the goal with this video. Shouldn't be too long of a video, but we have a lot to cover. So as soon as we get back to the house, we'll start going over it from start to finish. All right, Hunter and I got back to the house about an hour and a half ago, and man, did we get some serious storms. We had some tornado warnings. I didn't hear of any touching down. We had high winds and probably about an inch of rain in about 45 minutes. But that's okay, because I have plenty of work to do inside. So as I mentioned earlier, Melissa's Uncle Jay was over today, and between the two of us, we installed 1,500 feet of this tubing on this half of the building right here. And it went really, really well. Much better than what I thought it would. The biggest challenge I've had so far is getting the panels down nice and flat. Maybe I was being a little over particular, but I was taking my time, and I started out with the wrong stone. I was using 2B limestone, and when you use the plate compactor on it, it just kind of rolls a little bit, and it's hard to get everything plus or minus a quarter of an inch. But what I did do then, I got some 2A limestone, and actually, it's not the best. So here in Pennsylvania, you know, we call this 2A limestone, and it's supposed to be 1.5 inches down to dust. But I don't think, matter of fact, I know this is not PennDOT spec stone right here. Quarries can sell PennDOT spec or non-spec stone. You know, this is supposed to be 1.5 inches down to dust. But as you can see in here, we have all these nice fines. I'll show you these fines right here. It's wet right now from the rain. It compacts really well. But mixed in here, I've got these chunks. These are much bigger than 1.5 inches. Look at the size of these. So these have been giving me a little bit of headache, but not too bad. There's more fines than there are this big stuff. But what I found is once I hit it with the plate compactor, you know, maybe rake it a little bit. I keep raking these ahead and burying them or getting rid of them. So if I were to do it again, I would make sure the stone I had was probably 3/4 inch and minus, and I think that would probably be the best. Sand would be pretty good as well. Not too many people put sand underneath the concrete around here, but I don't see why it would hurt. But yeah, doing it again, I would go with 3/4 inch and minus. This is what I started with right here. This is what we call 2B limestone. It's about 1.5 inches clean. In other words, there's no fines in it. And what happens with this is when you run over it with the plate compactor, it just kind of moves out of the way, wiggles around a little bit, and rolls on you. So to get those panels down nice and flat, you don't want to use clean rock like this. All right, now over here, I've got quite the bird's nest going on right now, but we'll get that all cleaned up once we set the manifolds and hook up all the line to the manifolds. Before I do that though, I'm going to put some insulation on that wall. I'll probably put some 1.5 inch insulation in there, and then probably another sheet over top of everything. And then we'll mount those manifolds on both sides of the post. On this side of the building, I have 5 zones. The rolls of tubing, they're 300 feet long, and I want to show you that in just a minute. But there's about 1,500 feet, like I said, just on this side of the building right here. Total time to put this in once the panels were down was probably, I don't know, 2 hours maybe not even that. But it goes pretty well. This stuff doesn't kink. I mean, I'm sure if you tried, you could get it to kink. It's nice stuff, though. It works really well. When you're rolling it out, it's definitely a 2-man job just to keep it nice and straight for the guy that's stomping it down between these little nubs on these panels. And let me show you something here. Now this morning when we were installing this, I didn't really have any time to run any cameras. We were pretty busy, but I want to show you how easy this goes in. Like I said, you've got one guy rolling it out, and the other one, you just kind of push it down in those nubs right there. And I'm telling you, it's tight. We did not have one piece, I'm going to pull this out. We did not have one section out of 1,500 feet that popped back up. It's very secure. But if you do screw something up, it's no big deal. You can just pop it out, move it over a row. But we kept all our rows about 1 foot apart all the way across here. Now we're a little closer. Some places we're 6 inches here because this is where the return is to the manifold. The rolls of tubing are 300 feet long. So what you have to do, you start at the manifold, work your way out, and you go all around, and you have to end up back in the manifold in 300 feet. Now you may be thinking to yourself, how do you figure all that out? I'll show you. The company that I bought this from is called Thermo Supply, and they are in West Middlesex, Pa. I know they serve a pretty big area, but they're very knowledgeable, very, very helpful. I called with a few dumb questions. They're quick to answer the phone, and they answered all my questions, and we were on our way. But here's their phone number, 800-388-8801, Thermo Supply. Really nice people. But included in the purchase of all the materials for the rough-in was this drawing right here. This was my first zone right here. We came out of the manifold. That's what I just showed you there a minute ago, zigzag back and forth. And it's all calculated to be 300 feet. Now, we stayed pretty close to this. Not exactly. Had a little bit of fun with it. But everything we have out there is probably within a foot. So I think it'll work really, really well. As a matter of fact, over in the actual garage area, I may end up, we're going to be doing that tomorrow, I may end up with just 4 zones in the garage instead of 5. Because I found that I have a little bit of extra each time I come back to the manifold. And one of the reasons is I'm staying away from the walls a little bit more than what it showed on here. Like this whole area over in there is going to be a big game room. Now this is a big building. This is kind of a big undertaking right here. Just inside here is 2,880 square feet. But the reason that I stayed away from the walls a little bit is when we frame this in, I need to frame in between these posts. That way I can use both adhesive and probably Tapcons in the concrete. But I kept all that tubing in on this side, that side, that side. And I'm also taking pictures of everything so I know where everything's at with some tape measure, measuring things. And then I'll keep that in a file. So the interior walls in here, what I'm going to have to do is probably just use adhesive. Now I am doing 5 inches of concrete. And as you can see, this kind of sets down in a little bit. I mean, you could probably get away with some short Tapcons, but I would hate to go to all this work and screw it up by putting a nail or something into it. Just framing a wall. I have more panels to put in tonight, but we're well over halfway, and it's going to go a lot faster now because we kind of cut around all the plumbing. This stuff cuts pretty easy, but everything you have to go around just adds a little bit more time to it. Even you can see the way you have to notch it around the posts where the doors are. They're double posts right there. All that takes some time. But right there I've got a drain. That's going to be in the kitchen. I think that's also going to be the vent pipe that goes up. We'll have a little kitchen over there, sink. That's the toilet in the bathroom, sink in the bathroom, and this is the shower right here. That's the way Plumber Jim wanted us to leave it. I hope that's what he said. I'm sure he'll let me know if it's not, but that way he can put the trap in. That box is set right at finished grade of concrete. Over here we have a drain for a sink right here, just like a wash tub. The way this is going to shake out, I'm not going to get into all this right now, but like I said, you have a big game room over here, kitchen, bathroom, little office right there. But the game room is going to be 24 feet wide this way. But as you come over here, it's going to extend another, I can't even remember, 8, 10, 12 feet. It's going to be a big game room, all finished. It'll be really nice. This is that conduit that I put in before, just for future use. If we get public water or something, it goes out underneath the driveway, out to the lawn. So if we do get public water or something at some point, I won't have to dig everything up across that driveway on that side of the building. Right here is the water line that comes from the cistern tank, which is out there, 4,000 gallon tank. Now, like I mentioned earlier, if there's guys out there that install these Crete heat panels all the time, they're probably not going to get much out of this video because they know a lot more than I do. The purpose of this video is for people out there that want to save some money if they're building a new building like this or a new house. This is something that I feel most people could do on their own. You know, you need some support from your supplier like Thermo Supply. They were very, very helpful. But like I said, it's very labor intensive, tedious work, takes some time. I probably have, I'm just trying to think, I don't know, 25 hours so far in what you see behind me. And if I did it again, I could probably cut that by a third, you know, cut 1/3 of the time off of that, just because now I know a little bit what I'm doing. I imagine a whole crew that does this kind of stuff could probably put this all in a day, but I don't know. But it's definitely something I think most people could do on their own to save some money. Now, I know this video is kind of all over the place and not in order, but I keep remembering little things that I learned and want to tell you about. Something else to keep in mind, you see these little nubs or knobs or whatever you want to call them that the tubing sticks down between? They're staggered on there, and when you put these panels out, you want to continue that same pattern that you see right there. Like, you don't want this one shifted down. It may not seem like a big deal, but it is. Once you're running all this tubing, when you go to make a turn or something like that, you're going to get all jacked up. I did not make that mistake. Steve at Thermo Supply was pretty clear explaining that to me. But so far, I'm really pleased with this. You know, it's a lot of work, but it's kind of rewarding knowing when it's 5 or 10 degrees or 10 below zero out there, it's going to be nice and toasty in here. I think just 2 more things I want to show you today. But this is one of the manifolds. I have 2 of those. 5 zones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the supply line. This is the return. This will mount on the wall. One on that side of the post, the other on this side of the post. That'll give me 10 zones. And also with this manifold, as you can see, this will move a little bit. So depending on your approach of your lines coming into it, this gives you a little bit of wiggle room right here. Legend, it's called. Now I just have one more thing to show you. I kind of briefly showed these panels the other day in a video, but I'll give you a closer look. As you can see, they're kind of like tongue and groove. Got these nubs on here. They're 2 feet by 4 feet. I have, to do this whole building, 363 panels, I think. I think that's what I bought. And the whole package so far for the rough-in was about $7,500 for all the panels, the manifold. Also have a pressure test kit. Everything you need for the rough-in was about $7,500 for a 2,880 square foot building. Now, like I keep saying, I do think that a project like this is something that an average guy with some basic skills could do with a little bit of help and some support from your supplier. Now, if I was putting in a forced air furnace and a bunch of duct work, that is something that I wouldn't try to tackle myself. So I think you could definitely see a cost savings if you did this type of work yourself. And with the Crete heat panels, it is wicked fast once you get to that point. Leveling them up was a little bit of a challenge. Part of that was my fault. But if you take your time doing that, the rest of it seems to go pretty well. Matter of fact, Melissa's Uncle Jay, who was here this morning, he has radiant floor heat in his shop. I got to take you guys down there sometime. He has a beautiful place. He's got a pond, real nice shop. He's an excellent woodworker. He used to build houses. Really has a beautiful place. He's actually working on a waterfall right now, but sometime I'll take a camera down there and show you that. But anyway, I'm getting off track. But Jay has that same, radiant floor heat system in his shop that he did 25 years ago. And he was blown away at how much faster of an install this is using these Crete heat panels than the way that they used to do it. Oh man, I forgot one thing I wanted to tell you. Not only did I get this from Thermo Supply in Pennsylvania, we're in Pennsylvania, the tubing came from Oil Creek Plastics. They call this Heat Flex. It's 1/2 inch by 300 feet. and they call it PERT, I believe, PE-RT. Oil Creek Plastics, I just looked it up. They are in Titusville, PA. So Titusville, PA is known as the birthplace of the American oil industry, by the way. And all the tractors, excavators, trucks, everything around here, we appreciate that. And the Crete heat panels, they are made in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin is known as the birthplace of Wolf Ridge log splitters. There's grandson Ty's shovel. Leave stuff laying everywhere. But basically, we have a all-American heating system here in the new building. If you have any questions or anything that I can answer, let me know in the comments. I'll probably include one more video, once the manifold and everything's hooked up, and then another one later on when we hook up the boiler and all that stuff. But I think that's about it for today's video. Please hit the like button, click subscribe, and share them with your friends. Thanks.